When you talk, though, about like not being interested because the personalities aren't interesting enough, like the thing in sports that's interesting to me is sort of the sociology of it, like how these guys become great at what it is they are.
I like that.
But I like that about comedy, too, right? Like, I don't know. I'm super curious about like how it is that you guys got to where you are and how and how much of your funny comes from where.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm totally into that with sport, like the Kobe stuff where he's in the gym before everybody and then after everybody and all that stuff is fascinating. Like you're telling me about Agassi.
I love the Agassi story. I love the Agassi book.
His biography is one of the best biographies of any kind I've ever read.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable how good it is.
He's so cool, man. I just have so much respect for him. Like, and that guy who helped him write it's a great writer. But
he wrote, what is that? He wrote the Tender Bar. Yeah, Moringer's who wrote that.
Yeah.
That's like, honest to God, like he told me you love to read and stuff. That is the best sports biography I have ever read.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
It's crazy.
That's quite a statement.
Well, he was willing to be vulnerable.
Do you know Agassi?
I've talked to him. I don't know him. You read the book, you feel like you know Agassi.
Yeah. But sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Well, just with comedy, it's there's a hole we got to fill. It's the same with the sports, I think. To get good, you got to really go for it.
One of the things that I wonder about, though, right? Like if you're someone who gets a lot of identity from your work and you're someone smart enough to know that you shouldn't actively seek the validation of others, that the hole you need to fill is about loving yourself, when laughter is what you need as the ultimate approval of, it's the thing that feels best when you know you got this, you could throw it into the audience and what comes back feels like love.
Yeah.
That I could see how easy it would be to get addicted to that.
Pretty great.
It feels nice.
Yeah, it's nice. And it's a thought you had. It's not even like you didn't have to put anything together. It's just like, hey, my thoughts are getting laughs. It feels great.
Do you guys look at anything and say that's harder than what I do professionally when you strip it down?
Oh, cool.
Well, this is the reason I ask. I admire you guys because of the bravery of being stripped down to the expectation of funny. And it's only you, your talent, and the microphone. Like there ain't no teammates. There's no.
When you say it like that, I think it's easier than anything else. I go the other way. That's all we need is a mic. It's like look. Yeah, there's repetition. Like any form of entertainment, you have to work. But like you're saying, is this harder? Then you pull up a picture of fucking Agassi. That guy lost his whole childhood. Mm-hmm. You know, like Tiger Woods. Like to me, talk about some athletes who just any manual labor job is harder. And then you have and then
I meant in entertainment. I'm sorry. I meant degree of difficulty in entertainment.
Talking against
director.
Forget about it. Yeah,
I wasn't saying you guys are working in a sewage line like underwater, hardest jobs in the world.
I just want to clear that up. I don't think what we do is actually hard in the grand scheme of things, but. In terms of entertainment, we're up there for sure. I think Broadway actors up there. If you're like a song and dance person,
true.
If you're on Broadway, you're doing what, like 8 shows a week. And,
oh wow.
Yeah, and like think if you have to do singing and dancing and you're doing like that's pretty grueling, I think.
So what do you think? In entertainment, what do you think is as brave as stand-up comedy?
I don't think we're brave at all.
I don't know if we're brave.
I fucking hate that. I hate when people call us brave.
I don't think we're brave, but. We have to write it, perform it, and go on the road ourselves, and work on a sitcom, and we'll do a podcast, and drink.
You don't have to think it's brave, but
we have to drink. It's part of the job.
Most people listening to this are terrified of public speaking.
And thank God they are, because then we look brave. But we're not that brave, because it's like a sky. I could never skydive. I'm terrified of it. But some guys are like, I can't wait to skydive. I'm looking forward to it. And I think it's just a personality type.
Oh, I talked to a guy once. He was like, man, I could never do what you do. And I was like, what do you do? He's like, Navy SEAL. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? you realize that's harder.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's just the one hard thing about stand-up is that we're our own boss, and we have to be disciplined.
Yeah,
like you don't have a guy being like, get that in by 5 p.m. You're the dude having to be like, fuck, I need a new joke by 8 o'clock tonight, or I failed in my mind.
And 95% of comics don't adhere to that, I'd say.
Don't have the discipline?
Yeah.
It's hard, man. Think of us. A lot of us got into this because we're kind of, something's off a little bit, and now all of a sudden like, I need this thing by this time, and no one's going to tell you that. I mean, maybe at a certain level, once things go well, your agent's like, we need this by this time. Maybe you're working with a producer who needs something by this time. But like when you're just doing stand-up, you're the boss, you're in charge, it's all you. So
do you like the act of writing, the process of writing? Like
I told you he was going to turn this into an interview.
You're right.
Should I not have done that?
No. But I said Batard is Howard Stern, essentially, where he's going to interview us.
I'm genuinely curious about how it is you got, and I would assume your audience is as well. But and it's an excellent way to deflect intimacy. So if you want to come at me, you can.
We'll answer this, but then we're going back at you.
Yeah.
So what was the question?
I don't even remember. I was just deflecting intimacy. I was just deflecting.
You got to be your own boss and all that. But hey, you know,
the act of writing, the process of writing. I grew up as a writer, and so what I enjoyed about writing is having
the
written.
Miami Herald.
Yes.
Whoa.
But it's fulfilling. So it's fulfilling, but only after it's done. I can't imagine when I cite Bravery with what it is you guys do, when the last special is done and you've been sculpting that thing for a year, and now you've got a blank canvas, and you got to go and you got to make another special.
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
And now
you
the discipline.
Me last night. You know what the process is. It's just like, a
lot of failure.
It's like a little. Let me see if these work. Let me slide in these jokes.
So how? Yes, I did see you last night. How do you ravage yourself, and how forgiving are you on yourself when the last joke you made, you stumbled toward the finish line, and you're like,
I flubbed the last line of my last joke, but I was already over the light, so I was like, I'm not a dick. I'm not going to run the light.
But how does that how do you? I have a hard time treating failure as learning, and that's all you guys are doing.
Well, first off, I didn't know it was a failure, Dan. Thanks for reminding me. And, no, I think the rest of the set went well. So it's like you flub one line. I was kind of like, fuck me. Sorry. Have a good night. Like, I don't want to. I don't have the ego to think that I should fuck up the show by doing another joke. I don't want to keep other comics waiting. So that's why I got off. But like, yeah, I was mad at myself. But I just didn't. A set around the corner that was good, and that went pretty well. So I think, the new jokes were working, and if you make a mistake, it's just a mistake. You do so many sets, you can't just zone in on it and hate yourself.
Yeah,
well, you can if you're a self-loather, like you.
But it's counterproductive. It's not helping me.
Yeah,
a hint of self-loathing is great, but once you just are like, fuck me, I'm a fucking idiot. It's like, no, they had fun. I could tell they had fun. So
And you could spin the self-loathing into working. You go, I fucked up. I'll never do that again. Let me hit the books.
But there's real confidence in what it is that you're doing and being that gentle with yourself.
Oh, really?
I don't have that.
To have the understanding, like I'm not that forgiving with myself. I'm not that gentle with myself on mistakes.
Well, as long as it's not a hindrance. Like,
I was also a couple Negronis deep at the time. That might have been part of it.
That's part of it.
The calm in that moment. Yeah, no, I'm mad when something misses, but that was a joke I know works. I do think about how many sets we do a week. It's like, in the grand scheme of things, it's this.
But the real confidence is you guys have so many jokes that work. Like you're just waiting. You've done it so many times. By the time you get to the special, that pause here, wait for laughter.
Yes.
It's music.
Yeah, completely. It's very jazzy, except it's written. Most jazz is improvised.